So today I'm going to do a shimmer versus matte eye look, just to show the difference between why we use different textures of eyeshadows. So I'm going to start this tutorial by using some tinted moisturiser. This is quite new, this is by Decay. I don't know if it's on sale in the UK yet, but it's called Urban Defense and it's a SPF factor 20, so an SPF 20 tinted moisturiser. I think it comes in quite a few different colours. This is Bodyguard and I just apply it with my fingers. So it goes on. I wouldn't say this is oily, it really isn't, and I'm putting quite a lot on. It being a tinted moisturiser, it blends down really well. And I start in the middle of my face. And it looks quite light, but I've blended it right away. And I sort of photographed it and I don't get that awful purple look. Brightens up my complexion quite well. When you get to this stage, it starts to feel a bit chalky, which is very different to some tinted moisturisers which I've used, which are very oily. I think I prefer mine a bit oilier, but this one doesn't sort of leave your face, doesn't cake up. It's quite nice, and it feels really sort of dry in a good way, not sort of cakey. It doesn't feel greasy. It just feels like you put a very light moisturiser on. This tinted moisturiser doesn't really cover redness or dark circles, so I've just tapped some concealer around areas of the face like this which need a little bit of extra coverage. That's totally up to you. So I'm not really trying to do anything scientific, I'm just sort of doing it for interest's sake really. I have two different primer potions here, and they are, this is Primer Potion Sin from Urban Decay, and this is their regular one. Sin is just infused with a really sort of gold, shimmery, it's one of their eyeshadows, and you'll see as soon as I put it on. So I'm just going to take a bit on my finger and pop it on. You can immediately see how shimmery that is. It's incredibly shimmery. You could wear this on its own. I find that it's actually quite, take it down the middle there. I find it's quite powerful. So I would only really wear this in an evening. And then dab it down really gently. If you put too much on, things are going to crease anyway. But it looks quite nice on its own. It does a good job of adding a hint of shine. It's not chunky glitter either, it's quite nice. And now on the other eye, I'm just going to take some regular primer potion, just on my finger, dabbing it on. It feels different. The regular primer potion is more slippery, easier to blend. The Sin primer potion feels quite dry. I'm going to do something with the matte eyeshadow side, which is this one. And I've just taken the cream from this palette of 4, which you may have seen before. And I'm just going to work that all over the eyelid. Now the thing about a matte eyeshadow is it doesn't reflect anything, and it just evens out the surface. So if you have quite prominent eyes, like mine, and by prominent I mean sticky, outy, googly eyes, then what it does is it gives you a really nice flat, even surface. So it's flattening the eye out, reducing the roundness of the eyeball. Just by not having depth and shadow, you can still see my crease, but my eye looks sort of flatter. And then using a light colour brings out the lid. So if you're prominent and deep set, so you know, quite deep set, you can get everything in there, you can see I've got a very well defined crease. Then using a light shadow over the lid reduces the deep settedness of your eye, so it pushes things out. So then I'm going to take just another clean brush and go over to my shimmer palette and take a similar colour and put that all over the lid. So I've got one from the Everyday palette that's very similar, but it's very shimmery, and it is Bottom Left. I don't think they have names. I think they're all sort of bespoke ones. I'm just going to tap that all over. And you can just see that's a big shimmer. I mean, it's very pretty, but it's done nothing to reduce the roundness of the eye. It's just pushed the eye out even further, which is good if you have small eyes, deep set eyes. Because mine are prominent as well, I try to avoid too much shimmer. I was tempted to go onto the other side, but I won't. Back over. I'm going to use the deep brown from the palette and just dip my brush in. Don't need very much at all. And I'm going to reintroduce a bit of shape. So I'm elongating the eye by taking it along the lash line and extending outwards. You can see that's made it look much longer. And then bring it back in to the crease. You can see I've made it look longer by just smoking that out a touch. The good thing about making sort of a matte shadow and mattifying the eye is you can then recreate the eye shape that you want. So I sort of brought it out a little. I'm going to join it up with the bottom just to make that seem more real. And I sort of elongated the eye a little bit. So the thing about matte eyeshadows, which you'll find out if you ever use them, is they require an awful lot more blending. They tend to be a little bit harder than shimmery eyeshadows, so they're just not as soft to blend, and you may find yourself having to load up your brush quite a few times, like this, and kind of really emphasising my new crease shape, which is out here. Use the third one in, kind of the darkest brown in the palette. I'm just going to pop that on the outer corner. So I'm just going to call this my conventional eye, which is light on the inner corner, dark on the outer corner, blend upwards into the crease. Super easy. This is a really nice going out look. And now I'm just introducing that shape. But it's made this eye look even rounder. I'm not quite sure what I'm trying to achieve with this tutorial. I think I'm just trying to show you different techniques so that you can choose how you want your eyes to look. This one is more cat eye, really sort of swept it out, and it's actually emphasised my cheekbone as well, because I don't really have much of a cheekbone. My face is actually quite flat. So I sort of, by lifting it up and pulling it out, I've given myself more of a sculpted cheekbone along here. It's really easy to do. And with this eye, I've made it appear rounder and more open, just by lifting the shadow upwards, and everything is sort of upwards and outwards. And I'm just going to use those two colours. That's really simple. Now I'm going to show you how to make the most of your eyeliner for different sort of eye shapes. For this one, we're doing a more open eye, so avoid any eyeliner on the waterlines, because what that does is it just closes up the eye and looks smaller. But just add a tiny bit on the top lash line, and that really thickens out the lashes and makes the eyes look bigger. Same on the outer corner on the bottom. And you can really kind of smoke it a bit to almost pull the eye that way and that way. What we want to do is pull the eye that way. And by concentrating on the outer corners, that's what we're doing. You can also take the pencil and wing it upwards. Avoid any eyeliner on the inner corner unless your eyes are quite far apart, which it really helps to bring the eyes together. Now for our sort of slightly smoky eye, I'm just going to take it between and pop it on the waterline. It's a great thing to do. Make the most of the lower lash line. Don't think about loading up the top. It's all about the lower lash line and the waterline. You can see the difference that makes. And then we're going to give it a really good smudge just with a finger and wing it outwards like this. You can see I've elongated the eye even more, and certainly a little bit on the top lash line. So waterline. I've not put too much on. I'm trying to concentrate the action on the outer corner again. And you can see the difference. It's pretty obvious that if you want to elongate your eye from everything I've been saying, you need to concentrate the drama on this outer corner. So I'm taking my lash curlers and I'm curling them. One big curl at the root to lift them and open them. Then I'm going to move along and I'm going to avoid. I'm just going to do the outer corner and curl those separately, because I kind of want them to go outwards and swoosh outwards a bit. So when you take your mascara, take a nice bit of mascara, we give them one quick wiggle at the roots to coat them and get them sort of black again, because when you've had eyeshadow on, they tend to look a little bit chalky. And then I'm going to concentrate the drama on the outer corner and sweep them that way. So really just grab them and pull them out to the side. You can also achieve this effect by using lash inserts and just putting the extra long ones on the inner corner, on the outer corner, and just drag them off and put an extra couple of coats on the outer corners, especially on the bottom. Now when you're doing your wide-eyed look, we're going to curl the lashes just straight. So we curl at the root and then we walk upwards and outwards so they're really open. And then we take our mascara, give ourselves a wiggle at the roots, and then we're going to splay the lashes out in every single direction pretty much, and really make them as wide as possible and as well separated as possible. So if you have a lash comb like this, this actually really helps. So you've applied your mascara and you just want to separate the lashes, individualise them and pull them to where you want them. You can see the difference. This eye has just gone boing and just open wide. And you don't need to put too much on the bottom lashes, but if you do, just concentrate on the middle and sort of pull them downwards, and a little bit on the inner corner, pulling them towards the inner corner as well. If you're going to do it, sort of pull them apart. If you want to use false lashes, that really helps to open up the eyes as well. If you want to use a flesh colour or a white pencil on the inner corner, on the lower lash lines, that really helps as well. I tend to use like a gold pencil or something, which looks really good. But you can see the difference between the two eyes. That one is smoky and sultry and looks longer, and this one is more of your daytime sprightly fun look, which is sort of open, brilliant for a wedding look actually, this sort of open, big open-eyed look, because it looks so nice in photographs. Well, thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon.